Yo, what is going on, everybody? So, you know, when you can't walk out on the street and have a universal set of basic accepted social standards, that things are pretty fucked up, right? You could open a door for one woman and she'd be like, oh, thank you so much. You open the door for the next woman. Oh, you patriarchal oppressor! We don't know who the psychos are because they're all blend in together. You can have someone with freaking short hair who is the nicest chick, outwardly at least. I mean, you don't know what she's like behind closed doors because the woman you marry is never the woman you divorce, or that divorces you, should I say. But you might also walk up to someone who looks traditional and who looks decent and kind, and they might even have kind eyes and just have a really gentle smile about them. And then they lose the fucking plot when you open the door. And on one of Coach Greg Adams' Twitter statuses the other day, a gentleman actually posted and said that his mother had called him crying and apologized to him for the breakdown of his divorce. And apparently she also called her 4 other sons who had also been divorced, because this mother had obviously realized that the way that she'd raised them as a single mum, by teaching them to be the nice guy, you know, to do all of these things for girls, to be subservient, to be the little puppy dog, to be the good guy who brings flowers home every week on a Friday at 5:30 p.m. on the dot. You know, the predictable guy, the guy who, you know, never surprises her because every day is a surprise, so it's not a surprise anymore. Because it's like, oh, I know I'm going to get a surprise today, so it's like they're expecting it now. And, you know, maybe that sounds a little over the top, but when you actually dig into the psychology of it all, it's actually very, very logical. So yeah, it's 5 out of 5 divorced sons. All 5 of them, the woman had left them, right? Not the other way around. Like, all 5 of them had been left by their wives because the mother taught him the wrong way to interact with women. And this is what we're seeing a lot of. This is why we've got so many simps. This is why we've got guys that are basically being thrown under the bus completely. I mean, a textbook example of, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Not in this video. Not in this video. But on that same vein, did you hear about how Prince Harry, actually, let me just quickly bring this up because I think this is a really an important point of discussion here. Prince Harry is getting, pardon my pun, royally fucked over by you know who. Now, I saw this morning, and look, I know that you can't really trust the mainstream media, but generally speaking, with this smoke, there's fire, right? If you see a couple of spike in bullshit articles, you're like, yeah, this will pass in a week. But this has been going on for months and months and months now, and I've seen some of the interactions between Prince Harry and between Meghan Markle, and I gotta tell you, those actions speak volumes. They are much louder than words. So no matter what is said, what is done is far more relevant to the overall picture. So let me just share this with you quickly. I know this may be in reverse, but just so that you can see the article, bear with me a second here. Oh, come on. There we go. Nope, this phone is a slow piece of shit. Bear with me, guys. Almost there. Almost there. I think I got it. But in the meantime, how y'all doing? If you haven't smashed that thumbs up already, please do smash that. Like Kate Mulvey smashed the wall. Here we go. Here we go. Prince Harry tells friends he misses the army and cannot believe how his life has been turned upside down after Megxit moved to Los Angeles. Now, I want to get into body language just for one quick second, and then I'll move on to the article that I actually hooked you guys in with the title. I want you guys to have a quick look at his facial expression and hers side by side. It tells you everything that you need to know. Everything. This is why you should never, ever, ever, ever marry a feminist. And guess what? When he finally is either going to commit suicide or he's going to end up getting divorced by her, or he's going to leave and go back to the royal family. I think one of the first two is the more probable, and both of them are bad for him. In fact, all 3 of them are bad for him, because if he leaves her, whether it's her choice or his, he's going to end up not being able to see his kid. So he's unknowingly going to become the poster child for parental alienation, which, by the way, has been included in the upcoming World Health Organization's designation of illness categories. However, when you search for it in that particular document, you search for parental alienation, it takes you to the section it refers to, but there's no specific mentioning of the word parental alienation. And that was by way of pressure from lobby groups, namely feminist lobby groups, who didn't want that to be mentioned as something that actually is a thing, because then they would have to acknowledge that women are the ones that are the majority of the ones doing it, because then there would be studies on it, and it would be found that men are the primary victims of parental alienation. And by feminist logic, if you're the primary victim of something, then all of the resources must be designated to you, i.e., women are the primary victims of domestic violence, so we need all of the resources. And any resources designated to men must be to tell men to be better, which is perpetuating gender stereotypes, which apparently feminists think are toxic masculinity and men's fault, even though they're the ones creating it. But, you know, cognitive dissonance was always the strength of feminists. Let me get on to what I brought you guys here to check out. So smash that thumbs up as I get to the start of this article. Oh, here we go. Here's these feminists talking about sexism. Look at these faces. Oh my God. We have got purple hair. We've got green hair. We've got all sorts of shit going on here. This is retarded. 4 female artists explain the sexism they face in the music industry. Oh, that's a kettle of worms. I'm not going to go there. Let's start this after I get that straightened up. Here we go. There we go. Nope. All right, and leading into this, I just want to say a massive thank you to Starship Architect for that $10 US donation. Says Meghan Markle is an Imperial Star Destroyer coming out of hyperspace to destroy the rebel cruiser HMS Harry. Shields up, Captain. Indeed, shields up, Harry. You're going to need them. So apparently chivalrous behavior from young boys may be an indicator they'll grow up to be sexist men, psychologists at Victoria University have found. What a surprise that these findings are coming out of a university. And in fact, I think that psychologists coming out of universities these days should have the logist taken out of the end of it, because it almost implies there's some logic there. So they're just psychos instead of psychologists, because that's exactly what they are. And Dynamite Rabbit says, so damn disappointed in Harry. He had a chance to set an example for all men, but fell for a mediocre American thought who envied the Kardashians. Respect for his service. Pissed at him for simping like a fool. Thank you for that $20 donation, Dynamite Rabbit. Unfortunately, he will have to learn the hard way, because that's what happens. So the international study, carried out in partnership with New York University, Victoria University and New York University, the 2 biggest institutions of academic cuckoldry the world has ever seen, other than Boston University and Yale and Harvard. Fuck, what am I talking about, man? All of the universities are feminist indoctrination pots. Those 2 universities apparently found that both boys and girls have ingrained sexist attitudes towards women. So girls have got ingrained sexist attitudes towards women. So I guess all of those girls have internalized misogyny, which would mean they also have unconscious bias, which would mean that feminists, by default, also have unconscious bias, while they accuse us of having unconscious bias. Sounds like they're unconsciously retarded to me. Girls change these attitudes as they age. Yes, as they get less and less attractive, they change their attitudes, because otherwise they end up single and alone with 45 cats, give or take 15. Potentially more, if you were talking on the upside. However, boys tend to keep their, and I quote, benevolent, patronizing views, surmises the study published in the scientific journal Sex Roles. Well, I seem to remember a particular thought piece by a well-renowned psychologist that said that feminists are attracted to benevolently sexist men. What a surprise! It's almost like biological evolution favors the passing on of genetics of benevolently sexist men. So feminists want to bang the guys who are benevolently sexist, but they want all of their puppets to comply with the way that they want them to be. The research was conducted through interviews with 200 children aged 5 to 11 in New York and Urbana-Champaign, Illinois. I hope I've got that right. In which kids were asked whether gender-based statements were wrong or right. These include benevolent statements such as, men need to protect women from danger, and hostile ones like, women get more upset than men about small things. Well, it's kind of funny because it's true. The only reason that girls disagree with that statement is because they don't want to get called out for getting, what was it, more upset than men about small things. The research, and also because women think that these small things in these instances are not actually small things. They're huge things, which completely proves our point. Anyway, the research found that while children's hostile sexism, I love the wording there, feminists love to use words like hostile to make things sound worse than what they are. Hostile sexism decreased with age for both boys and girls. Benevolent sexism decreased with age only for girls. NYU Associate Professor Andre, it's spelled Cimppian, but I get great joy out of pronouncing that Simpian, says boys may be less likely to recognize benevolent attitudes as patronizing. They may hold on to the belief that men ought to protect women because this view is in line with social norms and may be reinforced throughout their upbringing, Simpian said, as Simpian has another sip of his soy latte. Victoria University's Dr. Matthew Hammond says the data shows that some principles taught to young children are gendered and could be harmful down the track. Well, you know what teaches people what gendered stereotypes really are? When women perpetuate gendered stereotypes by running the other way when there's a dangerous situation while men stay there to handle the dangerous situation. I'm just saying. And by the way, I've got a video coming up called Women in Isolation, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about when I show you the video of a psycho woman going nuts on the train and all of the women bailing while the men step in to handle the shit that needs to be handled. This suggests we need to be cautious about seemingly protective beliefs that are gendered, such as boys should never hit girls because such beliefs may go hand in hand with views that girls are weaker or overly emotional, Hammond explained. Wait. So we should ditch the gendered belief that boys should never hit girls. Is that what you're saying? Mr. or Mrs. University professor, university academic? Is that what you're saying, that boys should not be told not to hit girls? Because maybe that might reinforce a stereotype that girls are weaker, even though literally males who are taking female hormones are still thrashing women in sports and smashing all-time records, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Is that what you're saying? So I can go around and so I can hit women now? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I won't, but if that's what you're saying, then I won't be afraid to hit them back if they slap me, because I don't want to perpetuate gender stereotypes that women might be weaker, because that would just be sexist, maybe even benevolent sexism. God forbid. This suggests we need to be... the egalitarian form of belief is that people should never hit anyone. I totally agree with that. No one should be hitting anybody, as Whoopi Goldberg said. But if someone is going to start hitting, then what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's dance, baby. Professor Simpian said, while it may seem cute when a boy acts in a chivalrous way towards girls, or when a girl pretends to be a princess waiting for a prince to rescue her, it could be a worrying sign. Many times, this is just play with no deeper meaning, he said. But other times, these behaviors, even though they may seem inoffensive, may signal that children view women in a negative light as weak incompetent, and unable to survive or thrive without a man's help. Okay, Mangina, sit down. Dr. Hammond is now launching a follow-up study into when and why some people start believing in sexist ideas, and when and why others reject them in favor of more egalitarian attitudes. Huh. Well, wouldn't you know? People reject sexist ideas in favor of more egalitarian attitudes. Because if you want certain treatment, then expect other people to be like, hey, you know that treatment you're getting, that favorable treatment, those special benefits, that extra money, that favorable treatment in court, I want a slice of the pie. So you wonder why this happens. So I just really think that this is a very interesting conversation to have. I think it's a very interesting conversation. And the amount of cognitive dissonance in that article that I just shared is absolutely, honestly, out of control. Like, seriously. I mean, it's harmful that we might put forward stereotypes like, don't hit women. But don't hit women, and if you do, I'm going to send you to a men's behavior change course while I give my female client special funding and bonuses and privileges and all of this help and treatment to lift women and girls up while we tell men not to be bad people. You can't have it both ways, ladies. It's either one or the other. And the fact that you are constantly pushing for it both ways, you dumb shit feminists, that is the reason why nobody takes you seriously. That is the reason why feminists and feminism is a joke in 2020 and for several years now. So guys, please smash that thumbs up, leave a comment below, share this video, get the word out there, send it to feminists to trigger them. As long as they're not the type to go reporting videos, because I might end up on everydayfeminism.com and get mass reported and have my channel taken down because I hurt someone's feelings with purple hair. I'll leave that to your discretion. Anyway, gentlemen, if you want to support this channel, please head over to sydneymigtow.com/brave and download the Brave browser for your phone or your computer. I've got it on all my devices and I absolutely love it. It's like Google Chrome browser with all the functionality, all the extensions, but without the privacy intrusions. And it does help to support this channel. I'd really appreciate that. Also, guys, if and only if you would like to, feel free to head on over to paypal.me/SydneyMigTow, or check out Patreon, Subscribestar, all my cryptocurrency links below if you want to donate by another method. Really appreciate that. And to those who do on a regular basis, thank you so much for the ongoing support. And again, big shout out and thank you to Starship Architect and my brother from another mother, very long time supporter, and you know, someone that I consider as a real gentleman, Dynamite Rabbit. Thank you to you guys for your super chats in today's videos. I'm out of here for now. I look forward to catching you in the next video, but until then, peace.